There have been 19 rounds of commander-level talks after the Galwan standoff. Now, sources suggest, people that I was speaking to, that the last round that we had was particularly productive. Is there a possibility of a major breakthrough, if not before, then maybe during the summit? Are you looking at some major development vis-a-vis the talks that we've had with China after Galwan?
I will wait and watch. I would not like to comment at this stage because any conversation will be a premature conversation at this point.
In particular, when we talk about the talks with China, Rahul Gandhi was in Ladakh. When he came back to Mumbai and was at the meeting of the opposition alliance, he reiterated that large parts of land in Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh and in other parts of India have been grabbed by China, and India or the Indian government is not being completely transparent about it. Do you think that these are shadows which will loom large over your engagements that will happen with China as well as with other countries during G20? The overall situation, the engagement with China, and how strongly the opposition is attacking the government on it.
So I would say I would divide your question into two parts. One is the internal method, which is a part of a democratic country, and the other is the outsiders who want to engage with India. I think the China stand or Chinese politics or policies is the thought behind other countries to engage with India, especially post-COVID-19 pandemic, because people know that supply chains can break, and the manner in which these supply chains have led to misery at a global village level is why people wish to engage with India. And it is a thought process which is working in the minds of the whole of the world, that to engage with India is beneficiary, because we are not interested in toppling governments or doing things. We are simply interested in whatever you give or whatever you take is on board, and it's very straightforward, and that's what India brings. India brings confidence with its engagement. India brings both quality and compassion, and which is why people should engage with India. That's one part. On the internal front, I would say the opposition is left with discredited faces, especially when it comes to China. What credit does a person like Rahul Gandhi bring to the table when so many nefarious engagements were going on between India and China on the borders? At that point, this gentleman was visiting embassy of China and hiding that fact, not declaring it, and then subsequently it was the Chinese embassy which showcased his pictures and made a declaration about it. So I think a face which is discredited, especially with respect to the history with China and its own party's engagement with China, cannot be the one voicing the concern vis-a-vis Indian people and Chinese people, or representing India with respect to the Chinese claims. I would leave it to the people who are handling the situation to come forward and deal with it, and also work in the interest of the country.